In the last video, I made a review of a game called Sifu, and I thought it was a great game. I gave it a rating of 8 out of 10. And in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of the bosses from easiest to hardest. So spoiler warning for the entire game of Sifu, and let's jump in. In the 5th spot, we have Fajar the Botanist, and in my opinion, especially in his first phase, he's not really special compared to other bosses. He doesn't have as many different combos, and all of the combos are not very, how to say, complicated. Like, they usually are mid and high kicks, and that makes them very easy to dodge. And in the first phase, compared to other boss fights, I think it's just much simpler. He doesn't do anything special, and a lot of his attacks are open to very easy punishes. In the second phase, he does get a machete, but I think most of his machete moveset is quite simple to dodge. And after he jumps into bushes and jumps out of them, it's very easy to punish him for that move and easily mow him down.
But that suffering, it was for something. Yours, mine, even Yang's. We did something for the people. We shared. You want to erase it all? The bell tolls for you. The Guardian's legacy. Now, accept your sentence.
In the 4th spot, I have Jimfeg, the CEO. Now, if you struggle with closing the distance, she might be higher on your list, but for me, I didn't find it that difficult. When I closed the distance, it was the easiest fight ever, and you can really easily mow her down. But I did, especially in my first playthrough, struggle closing the distance more than on the botanist fight. That's why, in my opinion, she is higher than him. And I do think, maybe I remember wrong, but in the second phase, her moveset changes a bit, but the actual difficulty doesn't increase by much, so I think this is where she's just going to stay.
Sifu, my arms are yours.
Leave.
I recognize that uniform. It represents a school for the weak and evil.
In the 3rd spot, I have Sean the Fighter, and for me, he's in the 3rd spot basically because of in his fight, dodging becomes more critical, and I kind of struggle with that through most of the playthrough, so he actually kind of punished me a lot, and it was a bit of a bigger learning curve than the CEO or the botanist, and for this main reason, I would put him above both of them. In the second phase, he just gets more aggressive and gets some extra moves. Probably the hardest move that he gains is the one that hits your legs and throws you on the ground. It's the most difficult one because of how fast he does it. At least I couldn't really react to it. But he is in the 3rd spot because he wasn't as hard as this upcoming boss fight.
I do not want to fight you. That feeling of vengeance, it will not cease here. I speak from experience. Now leave. Or be forced to.
In the second spot, we have Kuroki the artist, and in my opinion, this really I'm gonna first of all talk about the second phase, but her second phase is quite simple and easy, especially if you have an ability to catch items that enemies are throwing, and it's very simple and straightforward, and she wouldn't be as high as she is right now. But her first phase is what made me consider her even in like a first spot, because her first phase, in my opinion, is the hardest phase in the entire game that a boss fight has, because throughout the entire fight I couldn't figure out what to really do. I just kind of tried to dodge and parry hits, and it looked very complicated. Maybe after a few runs, I will think that actually I figured it out and it would be much easier. But when I fought her, this was like the only boss where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna accept that I'm gonna age like be age 40 or 30 after her first phase, and then I'm just gonna try to beat the last fight with that age. And I want to kind of, you know, tell you some of the moves, like why she's so difficult, but to be honest, that's the difficulty. I cannot really explain how she does those combos, but she does a lot of circular, constant combos that feel like they never end, and you either, if you're trying to dodge them, just at least when I tried to dodge them, I couldn't. The combos just went on, and if I tried to parry, it ended up being that I just blocked all the hits, and then my posture broke, and then I got punished. But the reason why I didn't put her in the first spot is because of that second phase. After you somehow survive the first phase, you have a really easy road ahead of you, but I think the second phase just drags her down to the second spot.
Us. He cast me out. He abandoned us. Tell me, what would you do to save the people you love from the inevitable? Wouldn't you cross every line? Break every rule? Wouldn't you challenge death itself? You want revenge, little brother?
And in the first spot, I have Yang the leader, and because apart from the first phase of Kuroki, I think Yang has the most complex and fastest attack patterns in the game. And for me, maybe I'm just slow at reacting, but for me that makes the boss fight the most complicated when I have little time to react, so I have to do a lot of attempts on a boss to just learn his attack patterns. And in the second phase, I think that the combos become even more intense, which makes the fight for me even more outrageous. But this is of course for another video, but this does make the boss fight, in my opinion, really fun. And apart from having fast and complex combos, he doesn't have anything else that makes him like uniquely difficult. But I will say he has one attack that he goes back, does his hands like that, I think, or something like that, and then charges you and does a 2-hit combo that I really struggle with. So that's it. That's my list of bosses, ranking them by difficulty. Tell me in the comments if you disagree or maybe agree, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.